News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A canoeist has drowned near the Alberton Gorge. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Monday, August 3rd, 2015. Dense smoke in the Missoula Valley, but it's not from any fires near us. I'll tell you more about that here in just a few moments. We have a clear sky, but again, there's smoke, 59 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville. Call 777-5387. Frenchtown fire crews, our top story this morning. Frenchtown fire crews staged a rescue operation near the Alberton Gorge on the Clark Fork River yesterday afternoon. Public Information Officer Mel Holtz told KGVO News the call came at about 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
We had several canoes tip over in a very large private boating group turnover. One of the individuals was pulled over to the side of the shore and CPR was initiated.
Holtz said the area was in steep terrain where rescue crews could not gain access. However, they did get some much-needed assistance.
There were several guided tours that ended up coming upon the scene, and they were able to help us get the victim over to the south side of the shore and to a point where we could then extricate the patient out.
Holtz said ambulance crews ceased CPR efforts and contacted the Mineral County coroner. The victim was a part of a group of canoeists from Washington State, but the male's age or hometown were not available. Holtz said all the members of the party, including the drowning victim, were all wearing life jackets. Fire crews were called to the Flathead Indian Reservation late yesterday to battle a blaze not far from Arlee. Tribal fire spokesman Devlin Laframboise has details on how the fire started.
We had some look like older power lines snapped on the top, and the wires fell on the ground and started a fire. It went possibly, we're thinking in between 10 to 15 acres, and it burnt up over the top of the ridge and all through where the power lines were.
Laframboise outlined the agencies responding to the fire.
We had Arlee Rural, some of their engines. We had approximately 3 to 4 tribal engines, and we had 3 helicopters. And we also had 2 single-engine aircraft tankers and also 2 heavy aircraft tankers dropping retardant on it.
Laframboise said no structures were threatened and no one was injured while fighting that fire. The Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office is investigating after a body was found in the area where a 50-acre wildfire started northwest of Laurel. Sheriff Mike Linder said the body was badly burned. He said an autopsy is planned and dental records will be used to identify the person. Linder says it appears the fire may be accidental, but the cause is still under investigation. The Billings Gazette newspaper reports firefighters hope to have the fire contained by this morning. The dense smoke staining the Missoula Valley this past few days is not from fires in Montana, but in Washington state. Meteorologist Stephanie Henry said on Sunday that the Wolverine Creek fire, burning just east of Seattle, is the source of most of the smoke in western Montana.
We're actually getting a lot of the smoke in the upper atmosphere from the Wolverine fire, which is located just on the eastern side of the Cascade Mountains in Washington. The last we've heard was about 6,000 acres, but I think it's a little bit more than that at this point.
Yesterday, fire officials were also battling a small wildfire near Rock Creek that burned about 5 acres near Beavertail Hill, just off Interstate 90. Ravalli County Sheriff Chris Hoffman released the identity of Thursday morning's fatality near Connor on Highway 93 South as 24-year-old Michael Allen Newell of Missoula. He was one of 4 occupants in a vehicle that left Highway 93 South near the Connor cutoff and rolled several times. Newell was the only fatality, but all 3 of the other occupants were treated at local hospitals. Hoffman said the accident is still under investigation by the Montana Highway Patrol. The FBI is sending a team of investigators to assist the Lemhi County Sheriff's Office in its search for that missing 2-year-old who disappeared during a family camping trip. A television station in Idaho reports Sheriff Lynn Bowerman said he's convinced the toddler was not abducted, but he can't rule out the possibility. The boy, Dior Kunz, was last seen July 10th at his family's campsite at Timber Creek Campground just south of the town of Leadore near the Montana border. For the past 3 weeks, search teams have combed the remote backcountry to look for the boy. Bowerman said everyone at the campsite, including the boy's parents, great-grandfather, and a family friend, is considered a person of interest in the case, but none of them are suspects. Last Sunday began a most unusual homicide investigation that now involves several law enforcement agencies. The body of 25-year-old Jake Colvin was found in a state of full rigor mortis in the passenger seat of an SUV that had been driven from Spokane, Washington, to the emergency room entrance of St. Patrick Hospital by 34-year-old Leo Rodriguez. Colvin had been shot to death. Rodriguez was taken into custody after attempting to hide a .380 handgun inside the hospital restroom garbage can. He's now in jail on $100,000 bond. Missoula Police Department Public Information Officer Travis Welsh outlined the agencies working on that investigation.
At this point, because the body was discovered in the city of Missoula, the Missoula Police Department is currently the lead agency on the case. The Sheriff's Department has jurisdiction over the body as the Office of the Coroner is conducting that investigation.
Welsh said the Spokane Police Department is also involved.
There's really are three agencies that are working collaboratively at this point on trying to determine what happened, when it happened, and where it happened, and, of course, how it happened, and who's responsible.
Public Information Officer with the Missoula County Sheriff's Office, Brenda Bassett, said her office hopes to have more information on the case later today. Flathead County prosecutors have filed upgraded charges against a Hungry Horse man accused of wounding a man with a shotgun blast while firing at 3 people who had come onto his property. The Daily Interlake newspaper reports 38-year-old Ryan Lee Moskaloff pleaded not guilty Thursday to 2 counts of attempted deliberate homicide and 1 count of assault with a weapon. He had previously been charged with assault and criminal endangerment. Moskaloff is serving a 2-year prison sentence he received in April for violating his parole from previous convictions. Prosecutors say Moskaloff fired a shotgun at 3 people who arrived on his property on December 26th to retrieve a vehicle. And the Montana National Guard is increasing security at its recruiting offices and armory facilities in response to the July 16th killing of 4 Marines and a sailor in Chattanooga, Tennessee. At the direction of Governor Steve Bullock, the Montana National Guard completed a review of security and force protection procedures at its facilities. Montana's Adjutant General Major General Matthew Quinn presented recommendations for heightened security to the governor, who accepted them. Quinn says he's confident that the new protection measures will balance security with community missions. Details of what measures are being taken were not publicly released. As Susan Campbell will know, that story's for you. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Hazy sunshine today with a slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon. Highs will top out in the upper 90s. Isolated showers and storms this evening. Lows drop back into the upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.